Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So we're going to get around to some more Shonen Jump stuff today. So we're getting around to the last chapter of Akane-Banashi that dropped, as well as the second to last Kaiju number 8 chapter that we're going to get. So some good stuff to look forward to. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But without further ado, let us dive into with Akane-Banashi story 162. Better than that. With story by Yuki Suenaga, art by Takamasa Moe, with Rakugo supervision by Kikuhiko Hayashiya. We have the results of a character popularity poll from Japan. With 8,055 votes was Akane as number 1. With 3,464 was Maikaru at number 2. And 2,843 votes was Koguma at number 3. I feel like that's an odd kind of spread of like characters for popularity poll. Like Akane being number 1 makes sense. Main characters usually always take the first spot, but the other two are kind of just like odd kind of choices. I don't know like the full scale and scope of like which characters were introduced in like the thing or not, but yeah. We got translation by Stephen Paul, lettering by Sneeron. So we pick up where we have like all of the crowd walking out with even the prelims were worth watching. The Zuian prize is great. It's like, I thought that Akane Arakawa was the most impressive, though. It's like, I know, but even competitions are an entertainment product. They want fun, not impressive. And the top 2 folks really work the crowd and put on a satisfying show. She's really skilled at what she does, but I don't think, and you have like the back to the 5th place Akane Arakawa, she can win the Zuian prize with this. And as Akane's walking off, she's going, I was going for the win. I pulled out every last stop, but even then, it's like, turn the page. I knew how high the hurdles were, and I still came intending to win. Since that didn't work, I'll have to try something else. So, what do I change? What more can I even do? And as she's walking down the hallway, she sees Karashi and Hikaru waiting for her. Here's a Karashi, Hikaru, and Hikaru's like, what were you thinking earlier today? It's like, what was I thinking? It's like the results weren't great, but tomorrow it's like, that ain't what I mean. And you see Hikaru looks like he's about to cry. And Akane's like taking it back. She's like, Hikaru. And Karashi's like, it all felt wrong. Trying to blow away the audience with crazy technique. Let me guess. They told you to go out and win this thing without making the audience laugh, right? And she kind of just looks away. He's like, another one of your famous training periods then. And so Hikaru's like, so, what's that about? You said you'd come beat me. Was that just a lie? And Akane's like, I'm serious. And Hikaru's like, then put all you got into it already. Not making people laugh? What is that? I ain't gonna be happy beating someone who ain't even trying. And he's here just like shaking with anger. She's like clenching her fists. He's like, do you have any idea how much I've been looking forward to? It's like, this ain't the showdown I wanted to have. And you have Karashi asking, so you bowing out? Does it really matter? Even if she tried her best, the outcome's going to be the same. I'm still going to win tomorrow. And she gets all mad. It's like, what? It's like, you wanted us to be opponents, didn't you? That was the first time I got to hear you in a while. And he looks at Akane as he says, that was the first time I got to hear you in a while. And I'm going to be honest, it didn't surpass my expectations. You've gotten better to be sure, but you aren't standing head and shoulders above us like at the Karaku Cup. I ain't interested in the slightest in whatever's going on in your life, but it's like, all the same, are you sure this is what you want? I hardly consider you an opponent at this point. They're kind of just like looking thoughtful. It's like, I'm here to win this event just like you. I'm not changing my strategy. Instead, I'm going to show you both. Karashi, Hikaru, I'll beat you both and demonstrate my true growth. And you have the Zuian Prize preliminary round, featured a slate of ambitious young artists jostling for a spot in the final. Among them, Karashi Sanmate and Hikaru Arakawa excelled in particular, and this is the reporter just like typing up his article. It's like, all eyes will be on them in tomorrow's final round. It's like, that covers the basics, I guess. It's like, these results though. Looking at the rankings, you wouldn't expect her to be a contender. But, knowing her the way I do, I can't help but get my hopes up. I know she's better than that. I know that Akane Arakawa can do it. And you see her just like at night, just standing in the ocean with her like her bare feet, just looking up at the moon. And you hear, hey Aniki, listen, I know how you feel, but we got to get back to... And he's just like muttering something. He's like, Aniki? So I guess thoughts on the chapter. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel... Like, Akane seems kind of like despondent, like a little bit downtrodden at the idea that you're like, oh, I didn't place as high as I wanted to. I thought I went in, with like everything, every skill I had. I was trying my hardest to like, try to meet the criteria for what I was set and also win the audience over. But I don't think you really kind of keenly feel the sense of like loss or disappointment that she's supposed to, that, despite the fact that she apparently gave her all, she only still managed to place 5th. And I think there's a slight disconnect between us as, or at least me as the audience, reading the last chapter and kind of being like more confused than anything by what she was trying to do. And the audience reactions kind of trying to tell us like, oh yeah, it's like I was totally blown away by her technique. Like, oh, she was so awesome. And then them trying to like undercut, like curtail it a bit with like, but yeah, but like technique is not everything. You have to entertain the audience first and foremost. Like the little like trying to justify like, oh, that's why she ranked so low, even though she did rank in like the top 5. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know why this series is so hesitant to really either let Akane fail instead of succeeding, or letting us get into her headspace a little bit more, kind of seeing like her progress, like working through these challenges instead of just like showing us the results. And then like the second part of that gets to like when she goes like to Karashi and Hikaru. Again, like you see Hikaru get like all worked up and like super emotional about this. Like she's been looking forward to this for so long. There's like this supposed sense of like intense rivalry between them, and she's like, oh, I've been waiting for this. This was supposed to be like my moment, and like, you weren't even a worthy opponent or a challenger to me. It's like, what was this? Like, I was so let down, like after you've been gone for so long. But again, we've seen Akane interact with them so rarely and infrequently outside of these competitions that it's really hard to be invested in their rivalry or like the friendship or like the relationship that they have going on between them, because they've spent so little time together to really kind of develop like the rapport that we kind of need to see going back and forth between them. Karashi especially just feels like he's third wheeling in like a budding Yuri relationship between Akane and Hikaru, rather than feeling like, he's an actual part of this, like this trifecta of like, the most talented next generation. So I don't know, like we'll see if this arc kind of changes my opinion of that, but I really don't know. I feel like at this point I might drop the series for a little bit and like let some chapters pile up and then react to them all at once, because right now I feel like this series is floundering a little bit more, it's trying to do. And I think it kind of needs to find its footing again for me to be like as immersed in it as I was before. So we'll see what happens. Like again, like the Akane being like, oh, I'm going to show you like everything I can do. Is like, I'll beat you both, like by showing my true potentials. Like, yeah, like I mean, like that doesn't really feel like something to be like, oh, she's making a declaration. Like, yeah, the underdog's like gonna climb back up. Like, I'm not excited about seeing her like declaration, like seeing what she's gonna do to like improve and change her performance and things, especially with everyone kind of being like, oh yeah, it's like I bet on Akane. It's like she's not really an underdog, and the series constantly trying to spin her as one really does fall flat in that regard. We'll see. Maybe like letting a couple of chapters pile up. Maybe I'll get back in the flow again, and reading it all at once will be a little bit more better. But I don't know, man. Like the series is losing a little bit of its spark to me. With all that said, I hope you all did enjoy this video. Like I mentioned at the beginning, if you did, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Apart from this, I will also get around to the latest chapter of Kaiju as well. There's only one more to go after this, so it's going to be a trip finally getting around to closing out one of these series on the channel. A lot of stuff to look forward to, so until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.